Hello again, and welcome to our latest episode of Portal Season 2024. My name is Tate, as you can see where, it's right here. As you can see right there, I am the publisher / Commodore / owner at auburnsports.com, and I thank you very much for tuning in with me on this evening or in the morning, depending on when you see it. I think this is our fifth show, kind of doing recaps of what's going on in the portal with Auburn. There's a lot going on, and I just thought it would be cool to have a short piece, zero fluff. We just get right to the news, and maybe I give you a little bit of opinion, but not too much. We're really just trying to keep you guys up to date with everything that's going on. One thing before we get going today, we got a lot to get to. Please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing that. It doesn't cost you anything, and it just makes me happy, and I would love for you to do that. So thank you for everybody that's been watching and providing great feedback for sure. The biggest news right now, coming from an Auburn perspective, is two guys have signed with Auburn since the last show we did. Now, Jackson Arnold, the quarterback, huge part of what they're doing from a portal perspective. As you can see, Auburn's top needs there. I've got quarterback ×2. There they got the first one. Jackson Arnold from Oklahoma. That's a big-time hit. Now, two guys have signed with Auburn since then. Durell Robinson, who's the tailback, started his career at Charlotte, or UNC Charlotte is the way that I think of it. Then he went to Connecticut and had a really nice year this year, kind of as part of a two-headed monster at tailback, but he had himself a really nice year. Also, Hunter Kaak, who is a left-footed punter from Australia, although in the interviews I've seen, his accent's not very strong. But anyway, he played at Oklahoma State, and he's going to come over to take over for Oscar Chapman. Now that Gabe Russo, a young man from Montgomery who was punting here, kind of getting ready, bounced. So you can see the impact score over there. That's just my own personal opinion. I think Jackson Arnold is an A+ addition, or A- addition, excuse me. I've got some questions about his deep balls and some other stuff like that, but I think it's a really nice pickup for Auburn. Durell Robinson, B for me. I think a lot of Jeremiah Cobb, who's supposedly coming back. We'll have to see. It's always in flux. I think he and Damari Alston, and of course Alvin Henderson coming in is a really nice room. But adding Durell in there, a guy who's played a lot of snaps, who can catch the ball, who can run the ball. He is a rugged runner at 6 foot, 210-ish. He can run the ball inside. There's been some folks at auburnsports.com, some of our posters on the bunker, that think he is reminiscent of Ben Tate. And number 44, as you know, was a rambling man. It could run some people over. So if he's that good, man, that really adds something to it. This is a player we need to be keeping an eye on for the next 24 hours for sure. Xavier Chaplin, the left tackle from Virginia Tech. He just finished his visit yesterday, and he had a lot of nice things to say about it. You can see the quote right there. I just wanted to see, what the SEC is like. I'm trying to get on the bigger stage a little bit. I think he had a great visit. I think he's going to be committing shortly. And I think this is a huge thing. We talked earlier, Jackson Arnold, the quarterback, I think he's a QB1 for sure. There's your number one need in the portal. And number two, to me, is left tackle, and I think Xavier Chaplin is the best available player at that position. And if Auburn can lock him down, I think that would be a really nice 1-2 to fortify what's going on the offensive side of the ball. Now, Auburn has had two guys visit in the last couple days. Kamari Robinson was one of them. He's the tight end from Kentucky, 6'5", 252, so he's got the frame you're looking for. But he only started one game in his time at Kentucky. He had 191 snaps this season, 52.7 grade. He was one of the lowest graded guys at Kentucky this year. So I don't really understand. I mean, he's a 4-star recruit in the 22 class coming out of Detroit. So it's like, I understand kicking the tires on him a little bit, but I'm not sure what all he's going to bring to you. A guy that catches 5 passes for 29 yards last season. But, maybe they think, hey, he's got a lot of athletic ability. Maybe they thought UK didn't use him correctly. Maybe he's just going to be a blocker and a guy like Luke Deal, and maybe he goes somewhere else. Those are all the options. Wasn't super stoked about this one, but hey, sometimes there's different ways to kind of become the guy that folks want you to be. Another guy who's here on campus is Phoenix Jackson, a linebacker from Fresno State, Coach Hunter 48, who's a great member of our board. Those of you who watch the Brain Drain know that he calls in at halftime of our football games, provides us so much football information. He is a huge fan of Phoenix Jackson and jumped on board maybe 3 or 4 days ago when the rumor was out that he was going to be coming to visit, saying, I love this kid. 33 games, doesn't start, but he plays a lot. 711 career snaps for him. 76.1 grade from PFF this year, which is good for a linebacker, really good. He's a middle linebacker, and he's an absolute lick layer. Will come at you. So he plays inside, even though he's not the biggest guy, but he will absolutely lay a lick. Grew up in Modesto, California, home of the Modesto Nuts, and an unrated recruit in the 21 class. You guys know how I feel about these guys who either have a low profile or, in this case, no profile on the recruiting circuit, and they go somewhere and they're given an opportunity and they work their butt off, and now they become somebody who can play, major college football. I think these are great stories, and I love to see it. This is going to be a player, Ryan Strader, who's going to be on campus. He is expected to be in on either late tonight or tomorrow. And I was blown away by this kid. Played at Miami, Ohio. Obviously, that's in the MAC. It's a step down, maybe a couple steps down from the SEC. I'm being nice. But we're talking about a kid here, is a 2-star recruit in the 23 class from Pittsburgh, goes to Miami, Ohio, starts 24 of the 25 games that he's played at Miami, Ohio, and that the first one was the only one that didn't start. True freshman, first game, came in as a reserve. He started every game since then. 64.6 grade as a freshman, a true freshman playing there. He was a freshman All-American by the Football Writers Association of America. This season, 73.6 grade from PFF, which is damn good for somebody that's playing all the time, 1,515 snaps. Now, here's the numbers that really blew me away with him. 59.2 catch percentage in 24, and they threw at him a lot. I'm telling you guys, if the catch percentage is under 75, I think that's pretty damn good. When you get below 60, this is a guy who's potentially a lockdown corner right here, and he was 63.4 as a freshman in 23. So from a MAC perspective, and he was first-team all-defense MAC this year, he's one of the best there is in that league, and he's one of the youngest guys playing in that league. I think he's got a real shot to come into a team like Auburn or somewhere at that level and be a contributor right away. And I think he's really good. I was really impressed watching him and learning a little bit about him. So Ryan Strader's a guy we'll keep an eye on. Again, going to be here coming in early part of this coming week. These new names and Ryan Strader coming on means I had to make some changes to the Beast list. I know you guys have been fired up about that. I left Zechariah Poser all the way at the top because I just think that guy's unbelievable. It's like a box. Well, he can do everything, honestly. He's just a safety who can do everything. Clev Lubin, I feel very good about him eventually picking Auburn. We'll just kind of see on the timetable there. Jackson Arnold, who's committed already. Xavier Chaplin, who's an outstanding left tackle. Consistent. One of those players where it's like he either has an okay game or an excellent game. You don't have to worry about him having a terrible game. I was going to say a bad word there. Eric Singleton, who ESPN rates is the number 2 or number 3 overall player in the portal. And I know he's like blindingly fast, but I just wish he was a little more nuanced in the things he could do. I still like him, though. Ryan Strader, I went ahead and moved him into the 6th spot. CJ Daniels, the former Liberty player for Hugh there, went to LSU last year, had a so-so season. I think he'll end up here as well. Phoenix Jackson, we talked about him earlier. I bumped him up to 8. Durell at 9, and then Josh Thompson at 10. And I got some flack on the board for leaving Josh Thompson so low. And I don't like the idea of him being fashioned as a tackle. He's really a guard to me. A very good one, by the way. I think one of the 2 or 3 most highly rated guards in that entire league. But I think Auburn's they're looking for a right tackle, and I think they think Josh Thompson, who has moonlighted at right tackle before, could be an option there. I just don't like that, man. I feel like inside guys are inside guys and outside guys are outside guys. And I know that Dylan Wade this year did a little bit of both, and he was decent at both. But they really want to play Dylan Wade at guard. And so when he goes to tackle, you're just hoping that he can just be okay. And he is, to his credit. But I think Josh Thompson is a fine player. I don't mean to be disrespecting him. I just think these guys ahead of him are really, really good as well. So that is the Beast list. There's a couple other things I need to talk about before we go. First things first is that Walker White, the true freshman quarterback, has announced intentions to go into the portal on Monday. It's kind of a sad story in the sense because I think we all like the idea of Walker coming to Auburn. I liked what I saw from him. I felt like he's a physical runner. I think he's got some ability with his throwing. I think he's a true dual threat kind of player. But I think he's looking at the writing on the wall. He sees Jackson Arnold here, and he's like, oh, boy, I don't think I'm going to be starting here. And Deuce is coming in, and he knows what Deuce is. And I just don't know if there's really a situation that looks really good for him. I think he might want to go a little closer to home in Arkansas and maybe have a better opportunity somewhere else to play. I think he's worth it. I think somebody's going to get a good one with him. Also, Josh Aldridge, Auburn's outstanding linebackers coach, who is also a very good recruiter, has already let the guys know inside the complex that he's going to be taking the East Carolina defensive coordinator job. So that will be changing, and DJ Durkin will be given free reign to find a linebacker coach of his liking and add that to the staff, which we will see probably after the next signing day. So I think it'll be quiet from a personnel perspective until signing day. But Josh Aldridge on his way out. Guys, thank you so much for watching our show. I almost kept it under 10 minutes. That's pretty exciting. Again, please subscribe if you haven't to the channel, and I appreciate you guys so much for watching the videos. If you got any ideas about what I can do to make them better, let me know in the comments. And also, who's really sticking out to you on this beast list? Who did I underrate? Who did I overrate? Give me some feedback there in the comments. So, guys, until I see you next time, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Love you guys. Peace.